it's Jenny from City Fan TV. I just thought I'd come on and do a bit of a report on the game that we've just watched. Manchester City versus Chelsea women in the Community Shield at Wembley. Starting lineup for City looks really good with Roebuck, Horton, Bonner, Stokes, Morgan, Walsh, Hemp, Stanway, Weir, Scott, and the new signing Chloe Kelly. We had the OSC put on a Zoom watch along, so from sort of 12 o'clock onwards people were starting to join, and we had about 15 people all watching the game on the Zoom. So we had a bit of a discussion beforehand about how City might line up. It was either going to be a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3, and the BBC had it down as a 4-3-3 formation. For Chelsea, it was good to see Fran Kirby back after obviously injury and illness. Probably the surprise for me was the fact that Beth England was on the bench, but they had a reasonably strong lineup too, so both teams looked strong on paper. So the game kicked off 12:30, and only 3 minutes in Kerr had a chance, and that was going to be one of 5 or maybe 6 chances that she had, and she missed. Scott went down after 5 minutes from an awkward fall, and because she wasn't on the pitch, the game was able to continue while she received some treatment on the sideline. Chelsea and City both seemed like they were not too bad at the start. City went down and had a shot on the Chelsea goal, but then Chelsea came back with a counter-attack, and it was only stopped by Horton bringing down the Chelsea player, so they then got a free kick which didn't amount to anything. Morgan seemed to be playing well for Manchester City. She's obviously spent last season on loan at Everton. She's come back to us this season, and she looked quite good today. I have to say she did seem to have a good game for us. Georgia got a shot just outside the box on 21 minutes, which was saved by Katrin Amberger in the Chelsea goal. And then Hemp pulls up with what looked like a hamstring injury. She was taken off, Becky replaced her, but we're hoping that was more of a precaution than a fact that she's sustained that injury. Shortly after Becky came on, she had the ball in the back of the net, but it was disallowed for offside. Chloe Kelly had passed the ball to Jennie rather than take the shot on herself, and Jennie was in an offside position, so that was disallowed. Chelsea got a free kick on the D for a challenge that Scott made. It did seem that she got the ball, but she received a yellow card for it, so that was a dangerous position to have a free kick, but luckily for us it didn't amount to anything. Stanway had another good shot on 34 minutes. Berger palmed the ball out. It went straight back to Chloe Kelly, who hit it first time, and it rebounded back off the post. So that was pretty much the end, how the first half was just going. Sam Kerr was missing chances, we were missing chances, and the game ended 0-0 at half time. So then we had a discussion on the Zoom about how maybe they might, if they were going to make changes for the second half, or but they didn't. The same teams that ended the first half came on in the second half. So the game kicked off by Chelsea second half. And Kerr missed again after 47 minutes, and that was the 5th chance that she'd actually missed. Sam Kerr was obviously going to be having one of them days. Kelly then had a weak shot for us shortly afterwards, and then G went down a few minutes later after a clash with Scott. And then there was a little bit of confusion because Scott was sent off, but nobody actually saw the red card. It turns out it was for a second bookable offence. Considering that the first one was a little bit harsh because she did win the ball, you can see why they were both given as yellow cards. So Scott went off, and obviously City were then down to 10. And Chelsea were really on top in that midfield even before Jill went off. So having Jill go off meant that Chelsea were a lot stronger than us in that midfield position. Millie Bright not scored in, I think they said 11 games, which doesn't sound long, but it was last year sometime, November or something. She scored an absolute screamer, guys. It really was a great goal. But she was unmarked by City, which you can't give anybody time and space. She was outside the box, but even so, she hit it and it just flew in. And Ellie Roebuck just had no chance of stopping it. It was in the top corner. So that was on 66 minutes when Chelsea took the lead. From then, really, City heads went down and Chelsea's just went up a little bit. Murice came on for Manchester City, obviously the new signing. She came on replacing Caroline Weir. And then Chelsea had a double substitution. Kirby came off and Cuthbert came on, and Sam Kerr came off and Beth England came on. G had another couple of shots, one that went straight to Roebuck in the 73rd minute. Horton went down for Manchester City on 79 minutes after a collision in the box. She did have a little bit of a bruising encounter, Steph. There was a couple of times when she went down with, what looked like a knock. But as ever, she carried on. White came on for Stanway after 82 minutes. But I think it was just that little bit too late for Ellen to even get into the game because the passes just weren't there. City looked slow, they looked lethargic, they just looked out of sync completely. And it's probably down to the fact that they've not played competitive football for 6 months. Same as Chelsea, I know, but even Chelsea's passing wasn't great, in all fairness. Yes, they scored the goals. Yes, they won the game. But it was just one of them. It was really down to luck more than anything. Neither team looked like they did last season prior to the cancellation of the WSL. The second goal came for Chelsea in the 91st minute after 4 minutes of added time were given, and Erin Cuthbert scored, again unmarked, just outside the area or just on the edge of the area. Yeah, unmarked again, just so not like City at all. And as I say, I think from when when Jill went off, that didn't help, but then from when that first goal went in, I just think that the heads went down even more. And I think some of it is down to the fact that they've not played for 6 months, and they need time to obviously get their match sharpness back, to get the fitness levels back to where they should be. And I just think it's going to take time. The men were exactly the same when they came back to finish the Premier League. They didn't look good. they started to look better as the games went on. So hopefully they're going to look better for the start of the WSL next week, sorry, which is I think it's Sunday that they play, and they're away to Aston Villa. So the new season starts next week, guys. Who's favourite? I want to say City, obviously, because I'm a City fan. When they were talking on the commentators were talking, they actually said that Chelsea have probably got the edge over City. So we'll just have to see what happens. You just never know. City could come out next week and look a totally different team. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I'm going to leave you now because I don't want to bore you to death. Unfortunately, we didn't get that trophy today. But we move on. We come back and we look at what we need to work on and get ourselves ready for the start of the WSL league next weekend. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.